Human nature has always been driven by the desire to explore new horizons, break boundaries, and overcome limits. Throughout history, humanity has consistently pushed the limits of its abilities, whether it be conquering land, diving into the depths of the ocean, or venturing into space. Yet, despite all this, we often feel that there are certain boundaries that simply cannot be crossed. However, most of these limits exist not in reality but in our minds, or they are temporarily due to a lack of knowledge or technology. The barriers we face are often just illusions, created by our beliefs or a lack of tools to expand our understanding. You've likely heard of the law of attraction. It's a philosophical concept that suggests your thoughts and emotions attract corresponding events and circumstances into your life. Like a magnet, you draw to yourself whatever you focus on. If you think positively, you attract positive events. If you focus on negativity, you similarly attract negative situations. The human mind is designed to perceive the world through the lens of personal beliefs, experiences, and social environment. From childhood, most people are taught certain norms, rules, and beliefs that shape their sense of limitations. For example, many are told that certain things are impossible or unattainable. These psychological barriers turn into internal boundaries, which then prevent you from realizing your true potential.
Limitations live only in your mind, but if you use your imagination, your possibilities become limitless.
The law of attraction doesn't have direct scientific backing in the form of strict formulas or theorems. However, certain scientific fields like psychology, neurobiology, and quantum physics do explore concepts related to it. For example, some interpretations of quantum mechanics suggest that the observer may influence the outcome of an experiment. Additionally, research in neuroscience shows how thoughts form neural connections in the brain. Repeated thoughts can strengthen certain neural pathways, making those thought patterns more likely in the future. In the physical world, the boundaries of your knowledge are limited only by the tools at your disposal. Take, for instance, the question of the age of the universe. It is estimated that the universe is around 13.8 billion years old, based on observations of cosmic background radiation and the distances to distant galaxies. However, this figure is based on our current level of technology and understanding of the laws of physics. We use telescopes and mathematical models to peer as far back in time as possible, but these tools are not always able to precisely measure what lies beyond our current perception. Science is constantly confronted with the limits of current knowledge. Historical examples show that what once seemed incomprehensible becomes possible with the advent of new technologies. For instance, microscopy opened up the microscopic world, which was previously inaccessible to the human eye. The human body also faces certain physical limits. Our ability to endure physical exertion is restricted by biological processes, such as the oxygenation of muscles or the limits of physical strength. However, even these limitations can be pushed to some extent through training, proper nutrition, and modern medical technologies. Many athletes who break world records prove that the boundaries of the human body are not as rigid as they might seem.
Each of us is endowed with innate strength and abilities that simply need to be uncovered, not invented.
But let's return to the topic of attraction. The law of attraction states that you attract into your life what you focus on, whether you want it or not, whether you believe in it or hold the opposite opinion. The events, things, and circumstances in our lives are all drawn to us through our thoughts, mediated by this remarkable law. understanding of the world continually expands. In the 19th century, many scientists were confident that the fundamental physical laws had already been discovered, but then came theories of relativity in quantum mechanics, which radically changed our perception of reality. This suggests that limitations exist only until someone breaks through them and discovers the next boundary. It's like a computer game where humanity advances level by level. The law of attraction is based on the idea that our thoughts and actions shape our reality. Did you know that you are the most powerful creator of your own reality? Everything that happens to you now or has ever happened to you in the past, without exception, corresponds to your current and past thoughts, and more importantly, to the thoughts you invested with emotions. Look at everything that is happening to you right now. You might find that your life resembles a striped road made up of white stripes of happiness and black stripes of distress. You might even consider yourself a victim of circumstances at this moment. But that's not the case. You are not a victim, far from it. It's just a matter of understanding. One of the laws in this grand game is the law of attraction. It is through this law, or more precisely, largely due to it, that you find yourself where you are now and have what you have. You attracted all of this into your life yourself. This is one of the fundamental universal laws that exist and affect you, regardless of your knowledge of them and regardless of your belief in their existence. And, as experience shows, despite not seeing or feeling them, universal laws are far more powerful than gravity. Gravity, as we know, operates on Earth and within the material world, pulling things together. Universal laws, on the other hand, are omnipresent and extend beyond any visible or invisible boundaries.
There are two ways to live. You can live as if nothing is a miracle, or you can live as if everything is a miracle.
Among all universal laws, including the somewhat familiar law of cause and effect, the most powerful is the law of attraction. The law of attraction states, like attracts like, and the mind is the creative force of the universe. This means that whatever you, as one of the rare possessors of consciousness in the universe, focus the majority of your attention on will inevitably come into your life. Here's how it works. When you focus on what you want, you attract it to yourself. Conversely, when you focus on what you don't want, you attract that as well. Whatever you think about most of the time, if the universe sees an opportunity to bring it into reality, it will provide it to you according to the law of attraction. It's really quite simple. You might be starting to wonder, if it's so simple and clear, why didn't I realize this earlier? Or, I've spent so much time dreaming about money, love, and happiness, why haven't I achieved it yet? The law of attraction is easy to understand, but applying it requires following certain rules. Additionally, our thoughts are often not focused on a single thing but are scattered across many directions simultaneously. Typically, we think about what we see or what captures our attention at a given moment. For example, you might think, I want to relax on the Caribbean islands. At that moment, the universe starts to align circumstances and events to get you to that desired place. But, shortly after, you might sabotage your own intention by telling yourself, but I can't afford it. Figuratively speaking, the universal forces respond, wait a minute. Now he's saying he can't afford it. In this way, you block the flow of creative energy and halt the process of attraction. By thinking about your desire to relax on the Caribbean Sea, but then feeling that you can't afford it, you contradict your desire. In most cases, your feelings contradict your desires. Your thoughts and emotions are the foundation for attracting desired things and circumstances, and until you manage your thoughts and emotions, you cannot consciously apply the law of attraction or understand its cause and effect connections. Let's consider this with an example of your financial situation. You say you've wanted to have more money all your life. But what did you think and feel about money? Did you feel joy when you dreamed of having a lot of money? Were you in a positive mood? Or did you fall into depression and disappointment? Perhaps you felt anger or simply envied those who had the money you wanted. Most people have such strong emotional reactions to money that any desire for other things fades in comparison. Along with a strong desire comes strong disappointment in its absence. But here's the good news, it doesn't matter how long you've thought this way. You can literally turn back time and start attracting money consciously and intentionally by practicing the law of attraction. All you need for this practice are your thoughts, feelings, and emotions. It doesn't matter what you want to change in your life, it is possible through the law of attraction and the deliberate choice of your thoughts. Jeff Bezos, the renowned American entrepreneur, founder of the internet company Amazon, creator and owner of the aerospace company Blue Origin, and head of the Washington Post, once said, "Business people often ask the question, why? It's a good question, but equally important is, why not?" Simply start shifting your focus from thoughts of lack to thoughts of abundance. It might be a bit challenging at first, but over time, you'll learn to do it automatically. By the way, from this very moment, you can consider the acquisition of any things as a barometer indicating the balance of the quality of your thoughts about those things. The circumstances of your life are another indicator. If you're curious, observe how the level of your thought barometer changes when you incorporate emotions. Your emotions never lie about where your energy is directed. If you experience negative emotions, you're likely on the wrong path. If you experience positive emotions, it means you're doing things right. Here are practical applications of the law of attraction. Formulate your desires clearly and specifically. Instead of saying, "I want to be successful," you can say, "I want to start my own business and earn $100,000 a year." Frame your goals in positive terms. Instead of saying, "I don't want to," say, "I want to." Start paying attention to your emotions throughout the day. When you feel negative emotions, anger, envy, anxiety, try to recognize them and replace them with positive ones. The law of attraction doesn't work passively. You need to be ready to act when opportunities arise. Even if the universe provides resources, you must take steps toward your dreams. Begin with small actions in the direction of your goal. Throughout the day, strive to be mindful of your actions, thoughts, and emotions. The universe works in your favor and will lead you to the desired outcome. Waiting for the result should not be stressful or obsessive. Instead, focus on your current tasks and trust that the result will come in its own time. Humanity progresses not by staying within the bounds of limitations, but by expanding them. In reality, many of these limitations are illusory. They exist only in our minds or are due to the current level of knowledge and technology. True freedom and progress come when we recognize these mental boundaries and start seeking ways to overcome them.